Greetings to all you wizards out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another fairy tale 100 Years Quest. This time it's chapter 16 titled Ash and Dark Clouds. Very interesting title. Come on, man. Ash and Dark Clouds is a very ominous title right there. Despite the fact that not the most ominous chapter, I'd say. I mean, there's some ominous proclamations, but I wouldn't really call it the most ominous of chapters, as we're pretty much seeing the Diablos Guild kind of get their asses handed to them, to a certain degree, with Natsu unleashing flames so hot that they burn Wendy's clothes off. Both Wendy and Kyrie's clothes off, because, we gotta get that fan service in there. It even starts melting the boat too, which was a thing that I pretty much forgot was a thing, that Natsu's flames were so hot, he can melt things that shouldn't technically be able to melt. It's just like, yo, how your flames lava, bro? As even Gray gets in the mix between the fight with, Natsu, Wendy, and Scullion Raider and Mad Moral, with Gray getting in there, Lucy getting in there. Everybody's just ready to throw down. And, Mad Moral comes back just ready to keep, getting into it. Meanwhile, with Urza facing down against Kyrie, naturally, Kyrie's just like, my clothes are melting. That's interesting. Might need to eat that Natsu guy's flames or some shit. So they continue to clash. They get into it, but second fight, naturally, Urza's a little bit more capable than she was before. And so Urza uses the sword, the special sword that she has, and I don't know if it's just me, but she uses what looks like one of Zero from Mega Man X's abilities, which is like, I think it was Rising Flame Cutter. She's called Flame Empress's Rising Fire Cutter, and she uses that to pretty much take down Kyrie. And she even delivers this pretty awesome line about, ye who feast on dragons, it is now time for Natsu to feast on you, which is a pretty awesome line. But it's just like, I'm getting all these flashes of Mega Man situations where it's just like Mad Warrior is Hard Man, or even Guts Man, Scullion Raider is Skull Man, Kyrie is Cut Man, or even there was another villain like Blade Man or something. I don't know. But it's just weird parallels. And so Kyrie's kind of, for the most part, taken out. Just like it's made very apparent that they're not taken out, but just kind of like, oh, we kind of got a little beat up a little bit. So everyone's just like, yeah, we'll back off from here on out. And Natsu's just like, hey, get out of here. We won't let you anywhere near the Water Dragon God. We'll be the ones to take them on, to deal with them. And Scullion Raider's just like, oh, you're gonna kill. And Natsu's like, no, we'll find another way to do it. And Scullion Raider just chuckles at this. It's just like, well, that's all well and good. He's a powerless husk. What we're after is the White Wish who took his power, because, they want to consume his power and all that good stuff. However that works. And you're just like, oh, as long as there are dragons, we will prey on them. You cannot stop them. Like, generic evil villain monologue crap right there. And then, they just have this back and forth, and it's made known that it's just like, well, Scullion's Raider's just like, well, if there was more than 3 of us, we totally would have kicked your asses. Not like we didn't initially kick your asses before, so that's weird how you turn the tables on us this time around. But he makes it known, just like Matt Moore is just like, Yeah, we said we were part of a guild. Of course there's more of us. So that's the ominous moment, but it's just like, well, yeah, no shit there's more of them. What did you expect? Like, it was pretty obvious it was a initial skirmish. But he agrees to make them know how fearsome the Diablos Guild. He's just like, yeah, just run away with your tail between your legs and all that good stuff. And we even come to find out that even the ship that they were on was made out of ash, apparently. And Grace just like, no, Molder magic can't do all of that. It's just like, dude, I know you've been practicing Molder magic all your life, but you don't have a monopoly on everything that could be done with it. You know, like, you've still got a few years on you, kid. So don't go around being like, oh, this is the pinnacle of what's capable. Man, you've seen time and time again people who made the last person you face look like little children. So don't start thinking that it's not possible for people to pull out all this absurd bullshit out their ass for what they can do with their magic. Because it's magic and you don't have to explain how it works, apparently. Man, why am I so jaded about all this? But as Natsu and the gang consider where they go from here, they consider going back to the palace of the Water God Dragon, and Carla makes it known that the attendant wasn't too happy about them sticking around there, but Natsu's like, it'll be fine. And then we pick up with the Water God Dragon. I don't even remember what his name was after all this time. I don't care. I'm so jaded about this. It just feels like the typical fairy tale fare, but he wakes up and he has a moment where he just, freaks out. His power starts to rage out of control, I guess, even though he had it stolen from him. I don't, like, if your power was stolen, how are you still powerful? But he starts to just strangle his attendant girl, and he's just like, run. And it's just like, well, how do you still have even any kind of energy from here on out? I mean, I get you're still a dragon, but shouldn't the theft of your power have offset or something? I don't know. It's very weird how all of this just works out. A lot of things that just don't really add up in a way that makes sense to me to a full degree, but we'll see. Not a bad chapter, just a lot of questions as to like, does this mean that Natsu and the gang are just as powerful as these guys, even though they seem to be having trouble with these guys from before? I mean, they were taken off guard a little bit by their attacks beforehand. But it seems more like the situation that we always seem to get, where it's just like, oh, the bad guys come in and wreck our shit. Then we come in a second time and manage to take out the bad guys. And it's just like, well, it's kind of what I was hoping wouldn't happen. Or it's just like, oh, well, maybe gotta switch it up or something along those lines. But, I mean, to a degree, that's what happened. And it's not like they took out the guys. Not to mention, it's just one of those situations where, we'll come back with even stronger people than before. People who may or may not be interesting, because, these trio of people, they're interesting enough to keep my attention and be memorable. But the more people you throw into the mix, the less I'm probably going to remember about any of these guys in the future. It just begs the question, how much of an impact the Diablos Guild is actually going to have on the series proper? Are they going to be the driving factor all here? Not to mention, we also have the Dragon Slayer who sent them on this quest to begin with. Like, was it just as a form of revenge against all of these dragons and all that? Like, just really does raise so many questions that you have to wonder, is it even going to be answered in a satisfying way? I mean, I'd love to see it animated because, I don't know, the animation staff always brings a little bit more to it sometimes. Whenever it seems like Mishima himself is lacking in a few departments. And that added bit of animation, just seeing the battles animated, just gives a little bit more oomph to put me over the edge of enjoyment. Whereas I just keep relapsing into hating on this series, even though I love Mishima's work time and time again, but it's just like, Oh, that's all I can really think of from here on out. But hey, if you liked my review, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and a like. Tell me what you thought about this chapter. What was your favorite part? Did you enjoy the showdown between the Fairy Tail Guild and Diablos Guild? Are you interested to see more members of the Diablos Guild? I kind of wish I had seen a little bit more of what was going on with Toka. Like, that stuff feels like really interesting to me, and I'm sad we didn't get more continuation on that, because, that's honestly my meat and potatoes for this whole thing, just seeing more of that mystery get, told, because she was pretty good when it comes to backstories and character motivations and stuff like that. And if you didn't so much like this review, because I will pretty much had to stick up my ass the entire time, feel free to leave me a dislike and just tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I might improve for future videos. Aside from the yawning, I can't help the yawning. I'm tired all the goddamn time. But hey, how about subscribing to see more episodes of chapter reviews of Fairy Tail, the 100 Years Quest, because I'm still interested to see where all of this is going. Like, 100 Years Quest, just, it has a nice ring to it, just wondering what it's all about and where it's going. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Stay magical. That was lame.